Everybody, just getting a couple things set up here to chat with you here from the First Alert Digital Desk. And you're probably watching from our WBAY TV2 Facebook page, wanting to share that to my own Facebook page as well, H. Morales WBAY. So doing that for those viewers. Thank you for being here on this Friday. So we're going to try to make this a every Friday thing where I talk about the important safety desk stories that we covered from the First Alert Safety Desk on Action 2 News this morning throughout the week. Definitely have a good lineup for you on this Friday. Making sure a couple more of you join us, and if you're just tuning in, thank you. Make sure you say hello. I'll be looking at some of these comments coming down, getting everything set up so we can chat about safety stories of the week, including gun deer hunting season. A lot of really important safety tips to remember as our hunters go out this weekend. Something we were definitely covering all morning long on Action 2 News this morning. Good morning to you, Bruce. Thanks for saying hi. If you're watching, make sure you chime in as we talk about some of these safety stories. If you have anything to say, any comments, any questions, because some of these stories, when I cover them on Action 2 News this morning, there is so much more to talk about. So that's the big reason why we are here, taking advantage of our First Alert Digital Desk, a different, more casual platform where we can chat about these stories in a more in-depth way, of course, digitally, for those folks who like to do that. And I know there's a lot of you who do. All right, so what I have for the lineup here on this Friday morning, First Alert Safety Recap from the First Alert Digital Desk. So I mentioned hunters, making sure safety is your #1 target this gun deer season. We'll talk about this report by the CDC talking about suicide rates highest among older men. And then I also covered FDA, the FDA approving home test kits for 2 different and well-known STDs. Amazon removing 7 brands of eye drops after FDA warning, and then we'll see some honorable mentions from WBAY.com. All right. So let's start with the hunting tips here. Made a little graphic, and then we'll go back and use our website. So the DNR every year comes up with some easy ways to remember tips, safety tips as you're headed out. So first and foremost, they want hunters to remember TABK. Those 4 letters will really help you out. So #1, T, treat every firearm as if it's loaded. That's really important. Always point the muzzle in a safe direction. So this is all about firearm safety, by the way. B, be certain of your target, what's before it, what's beyond it. And K, keep your finger outside the trigger guard until you are safe to shoot. That is really important. So they have plenty of firearm safety tips for hunters as they're headed out the door. And this is both for new hunters, hunters that have been doing this for a while. You can never be too safe as you're headed out there, especially with so many people. It's such a big tradition here in Wisconsin. And here on our First Alert website, right here, WBAY.com, I'm going to pull that up for you. Per usual, our safety desk story is right here. If you could see where I'm pointing on our website, you just click there, safety desk. You open up the stories, and I already have a few of them ready for you to go. So we covered the hunting tips for firearm safety, but it goes a little bit more in depth with that. It talks about your outfits as well, what you need to wear, and hunters know this, but just as a reminder, at least 50% of the outer clothing above your waist must be that very important blaze orange, or fluorescent pink works too. That goes the same for hats or head coverings. Those also must be at least 50% blaze orange or fluorescent pink. Faded or stained clothing is not recommended. It's actually, it says right here, may not be legal and should be replaced immediately. Another big one that I covered this morning on Action 2 News this morning was tree stand safety. And you can see right here, it says stand-related incidents are one of the leading causes of injury to hunters. So unfortunately, most hunters, the DNR says, over estimate their ability to avoid accidents, and so many people fall. That's just such a big important thing. So make sure you always have a safety harness when you hunt from any elevated stand. A big one is just taking your time as you're going up and down the stand. Deer drives, make sure you're planning everything in and out. Plan your hunt. Make sure that everyone knows their role and sticks to it so that nobody deviates from that plan. Super important. There's this DNR violation hotline that they have right here. You can click on that. They have the website. The DNR website is really awesome, but we have the links to everything that you need to know on our website, which is easy to remember, WBAY.com. So once again, if you're just tuning in, we're just doing a recap of some pretty important First Alert Safety Desk stories, including what I covered this morning on Action 2 News this morning, starting out with those hunting stories. I covered firearm safety. We talked about the Blaze Orange. Oh, and another important one was the ATV safety, making sure you have a helmet. There's certain laws and regulations in place for safety when it comes to that as well. Another big story of the week that I wanted to chat with you all about, and it's also on our website. So I'm going to pull that up here real quick. At least the information. Suicide rates, there was a report that came out from the CDC. Here we go. And I'm going to go through a little bit of it with you here. So the CDC just releasing this week a report on suicides in the U.S., and the numbers are just not good at all. Basically, it says that the suicide rates in the U.S. spiked in 2021. That was the last time they were able to collect data on all of this. So it actually reverses 2 years of decline that we were seeing. Suicides among older men were especially high in this report that I talked about. So if you or a loved one have suicidal thoughts, we always talk about this really important lifeline. It is 988. You might see it on the screen here, or might have already ran, but 988 is really important. Keep in mind that hotline, 988, for yourself, for your friends, for your family. We also have more local and state suicide prevention resources and hotlines on WBAY.com right here. Take a look.
Over trapping him
so
inside.
super helpful.
They got one hiding in a porta potty.
You've got
Adam
that 988
said that once
hotline
he
and
pushed it
all
over,
of these
it
resources.
was really smelly, and he
So
could hear
more on that
the
report
sloshing.
here. This
So
came out
I can just imagine
Wednesday.
the
It
stench.
talks about suicide rates in the U.S.
A nice,
highest
relaxing,
among
beautiful
men
day on the golf
55 and
course.
older.
Bowen
I
started
clicked that
recording as
report.
police closed in, surrounding the
That is
porta
something
potty
that you
with
can
guns
go
drawn.
and read
You
yourself.
can see the person
It is now
inside
public.
climb out and surrender.
Sometimes it takes a little
Other
bit for it to be
golfers
public,
stunned
but
at what they
it
were
goes
seeing.
into
There was two people
talking more of those
decided to wait
numbers.
for an
Most
hour
deaths by
instead of
suicide,
going off at their tee time
according
just
to this
because they
report,
were
involve
fearful.
guns.
Other
In
golfers were
2021,
worried they
there were
wouldn't
about
get their
30
tee time
suicide
in and
deaths
were
for every
hurried to
100,000
get going.
men,
A swift arrest for
55 and
Glendale
older.
police
So obviously very
officers,
concerning.
but likely
Not to
a
mention the
smelly
fact that
ride
the
in the
report
squad
says
car.
men
It
85
was
and
a
older were most
fantastic
at risk. I think
opportunity
that
to
was
be
the
in the
most
right place
startling
at the
thing
right
that
time.
jumped out to me, because you've got the why. Why does this happen? Officials saying that they think it's depression, physical illness and disability, and more social isolation for people that are a little bit older. And people tend to lose other people as they get older. So those are some major contributing factors, the CDC says, in making older adults more vulnerable to suicide. So if you want to read that story and look into some of those numbers, it is there for you at WBAY.com. I want to also go into more of this lineup that I mentioned. We talked about hunters, we got CDC checked off that report. So let's go into the FDA approving home test kits for STDs. That was another big story that came out this week from the FDA. And by the way, there are so many. That's why we try to keep up with it and post everything that we get on WBAY.com. It is on the Safety Desk tab. So I'm going to remove this so we can chat a little bit about this FDA report. Again, it is on WBAY.com, approving those test kits. I have a website that you might want to know about. Here we go.
patio
Safety Desk.
to
Good
anyone
morning,
who
Tammy.
may
The Food
want
and
to
Drug
look down
Administration
onto it
has
from
just approved the
Trubisky's
very
upstairs
first
window.
home test for
afraid of
both
me looking
chlamydia
over
and
the yard, which I'm
gonorrhea. It's
not.
called the
After it
CFQ
happened,
test.
the neighbor
It's
placed these
manufactured by
signs along the
Let's Get
fence
Checked.
inside
This
the
is
backyard
Let's
of
Get Checked website.
Trubisky.
You're seeing
He
right here
immediately took
on your
them down.
screen. The test
But
is
soon,
available
she
from your
woke up
counter.
to this.
So you do not need a
3 large
prescription.
murals
You
of
would visit
eyes
Activate
installed
It
on top of
online,
the fence.
then you
And
just fill out a
Trubisky complained to the
questionnaire
city
for a
about.
healthcare provider
Dallas
to
code
look over.
enforcement
You'll
declared
collect
them
a
illegal
sample
graffiti
and
and
send it
ordered
off.
them
The test
removed.
results will be
But they were
delivered to you
replaced by these
online.
silk
The
screen
healthcare
images.
provider will
And
follow
Trubisky
up
says
if the
the
results
city
are
still
positive
doesn't
when we do that. So this is being called a major public health milestone, actually. They're these Simple 2 test kits for chlamydia and gonorrhea manufactured by Let's Get Checked. They're going to be basically over the counter, but online you do not need a prescription. You just activate the kit online, you fill out a questionnaire, and a healthcare provider will get back to you to let you know whether or not you test positive. The results are delivered to you online, and a healthcare provider will follow up with you on that. So according to the report as well, I'm just making sure I got some of this information for you. The CDC says more than 700,000 cases of gonorrhea and more than 1 million cases of chlamydia were reported in the U.S. in 2021. Health officials say increased sexual activity during the pandemic coupled with fewer routine screenings for sexually transmitted infections are why the numbers have gone up. I thought that was pretty important. So again, if you go to our website, WBAY.com, you can see right here at the Safety Desk tab, and you look for that story, you can just click. We make it really easy for you. There's the test kit. It actually, they have a couple of different types of test kits, and when I clicked on it, you could see $99 for the test. It comes in discreet packaging, all that good stuff. If you're hearing extra audio, I'm going to try to take care of that for you. I think it's coming from the website. Make sure you're chiming in if you guys have any questions on some of these stories or any comments, or just say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. Let's move on to one more story here, the one I covered this morning about Amazon. Let's get back to, there we go. We want to talk about the eye drops because this has been an ongoing situation with eye drops last February and then flash forward to October last month, and then now the FDA really trying to crack down on eye drop safety. I talked about that this morning because there were some major retailers that were told and warned last month by the FDA to get rid of their eye drops because they were deemed unsafe, at least the production possibly having bacteria, and that was the big concern. So this morning I was talking about, we've posted it on our website already, the same situation. The FDA still trying to crack down on these eye drops, but this morning it was in response to another FDA warning letter sent to Amazon because in this situation actually, and I'm going to show you all the list here because we're going to go through it together. Right here. So the FDA informed Amazon the eye drops, and this list right here, and I'll name them off for you. The eye drops are classified as new drugs and have not been approved for the medical claims they're making. So if you use eye drops, this is something you'll definitely want to hear. These are the brands and the products included in the letter. If you have any of these, make sure you just stop using them right away. Just to be safe, that's the FDA's job to let us know about these things. So Similicin Pink Eye Relief is on this list. The Goodbye Company Pink Eye, Can-C eye drops, Optique One. We've got Oclumed, TRP Natural Eye Floaters Relief. Some of these are for pink eye, cataracts, dry eyes, irritation, things like that. So Amazon did respond saying safety is a top priority and it's investigating in addition to removing the products that are in question. So that is a big story that came out this morning on Action 2 News this morning, and we saw it now everywhere online nationally, so it's a good thing that we were able to cover that this morning. But all of those stories that I just mentioned right here at WBAY.com, you can go far back, and I like to also every Thursday cover Recall Thursday with the Consumer Product Safety Commission. Really important because every morning they basically come out with a whole list of recalls. And depending on which ones they are, I pick and I put them on our website right here. These right here are pretty important. I know some people that buy these right here, these cups for kids, the stainless steel cups on Amazon. Says right here that they could possibly have high levels of lead that exceed the federal lead content ban. So that is an example right there. Also these mushroom peg sorter toys from Target, from the Hearth and Hand Magnolia brand that we all know from Target. That's been recalled. These high heels, we've got a Tractor Supply recall on these red shed hammock swings. So make sure you click in on those if you think you have any of those items at home. So again, we're just recapping the important stories of the week from the First Alert Safety Desk and making sure that you are informed on all of that. WBAY.com, really easy. Just go to the Safety Desk tab. And I just want to see if anybody said hello. Just Bruce, thank you so much, Bruce, for saying good morning. I might have had a couple more of you on my Facebook page. I like to share it on Aisha Morales, WBAY. So once again, make sure you tune in every Friday. We're going to try to do this every Friday morning right at 8:30 and keep you posted on some of those really important safety stories, unless there's a really, really big story that we want to keep you posted on throughout the week. But every story we like to follow up on, and we will keep you posted as things progress at the First Alert Safety Desk. And thank you, Bruce, for saying thank you. Have a great Friday. And make sure you tune in because we are going to have some more news updates throughout the day today from the First Alert Digital Desk. Have a great weekend. Stay safe, especially our hunters.